perhaps a dub. Too bad Harrison Barnes decided to go ahead and squash the party. There it is. Woo!
Talking about being your former team.
Yeah, buzzer beater.
How good does that feel for him to do this?
How great is this moment, y'all?
Yeah, and by the way, again, we just looked at that. We're still looking at the standings over there.
Yep.
This is a bad loss for the Warriors. Again, they go from possibly up to home court advantage, and the tiebreakers are all nuts too. I think the Nuggets have the tiebreaker against the Clippers, but not the Grizzlies, Warriors, and Timberwolves. So it's too close to even do that game.
Can't do it.
But man, they could go from home court advantage to two losses and
It's like
Cabo.
a play-in. You could be like playing this.
I mean,
Yeah,
if this starts today, that's the reality.
Literally, they could lose 2 games and be in Cabo in 2 weeks. Or they could be home court advantage. So this is the beauty of the Western Conference. This is the beauty of being a team like the Houston Rockets, who handled business early and aren't sitting here sweating this out like these 5 teams, these 6 teams, or the Thunder, who had a consistent season of wins and wins and wins and keep stacking them. But man, I've never seen a race this close, this competitive.
Perfect.
Ever.
By the way, shout out the Spurs. In the week they've beaten Denver, and they beat the Warriors, teams that are actually really
good job,
high.
Spurs. You gotta get the 6th pick instead of the
it doesn't.
the 4th.
It's okay that they win those now. Everything's all good. We're set now. Yeah, I'm wondering, Lou, what do you think happens here? Is there a world in which the Warriors
and they all play each other
they
too?
All
Yeah,
play.
they all play each other. It's gonna all of these games matter. Like we were talking about people resting guys, this and that. Like nobody can afford to rest anybody. All of these games matter right now. Like looking at this schedule, I don't know who I'll pick. It's like Grizzlies and the Rockets for the Nuggets. They probably can win those 2 games. Clippers, Kings,
Rockets
Warriors.
will rest, right?
Rockets
They're done.
Rockets will rest. So I like Denver winning out right there. The Clippers possibly winning out. What the Warriors are going to fight like hell. You know the caliber of guys that they have. And the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies probably got the worst of it. They probably got the worst of it with the T-Wolves, Nuggets, and the Mavericks. And then you got the Warriors, the Blazers, and the Clippers. And so this is going to be an absolute shootout coming these last couple of games.
Insane. Everything about this. Denver had its first game post Michael Malone last night. 124-116 win. Jokic, no big deal. 33rd triple-double. We just assume it at this point. It was a quiet night, though, guys. 20 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists. And now they remain the 4 seed. The 4-game losing streak was the big road win. And I would say Jokic was a little animated in this one, drawing up plays in the huddle, all of that. After the game, obviously, he was asked about everything that's gone on. Here he is.
People say that we are vulnerable, but I think the beast is always the strongest or the most dangerous when they're vulnerable. So maybe he woke up the beast.
Ooh, that's scary.
What they didn't show there is he said this is probably the response that Josh wants or something. Josh is the governor, the owner, so he's literally.
I appreciate the translation.
No, they didn't show that, which that was crazy.
I appreciate it.
That I never heard him.
Waking up the beast.
I've never heard him talk like that. Also,
animated.
first of all, I think that beast has been woken up for like 7 years, straight dominating, 3-time MVP, possibly a 4th. But look, this is exactly the response they need, and you can see they shifted the way they played a little bit. They entered the kid Pickett, who in the starting lineup hadn't been getting a lot of minutes, and that was a lot of the frustration with the front office not playing young guys, developing guys, playing Russ too many minutes. Now you see Russ's minutes get cut last night
the X
too,
factor, huh?
and they win. So. No, I don't think Pickett's the X factor, but I think they're tweaking rotation and stuff with Jamal Murray.
I mean, why
out.
not?
Maybe
if he was vital enough to be part of a firing, he may be a part.
Is he the reason the GM and the coach
he may be the X factor.
I mean, there's gonna be a documentary about this, about Pickett. And how
listen,
this all
Jamal,
went down.
it's a perfect time
What
right
if
now
he just goes on a run?
What if
all of a
he's
sudden?
like the greatest player we didn't know?
Insanity in Denver.
This could happen.
With Jamal Murray
happen.
out, they need to find that other guard, and as good as Brown can be and Strawther and these guys, they haven't kind of showed that they can go and erupt for 25, 30 points. And
career night, by the way.
Huh?
Pickett, career night.
You think?
And by the way, the dude defends. He's strong. He's an NBA player, and now he's getting his
Just
chance.
familiarizing myself with him right now.
Penn State?
It's like the X factor right
Oh,
here.
yeah,
Yeah,
Penn
Penn State.
State.
Well done.
Yeah, I think it's great, and I think as the interim coach, he has to try things like this. He's got to shift a little bit, and it's funny. You see Jokic last night almost as like a player coach drawing up plays, and I've never seen him talk so much in his life. So it's definitely he feels onus on him to be more of a leader and to kind of get them through this weird time of firing their coach right before the playoffs.
Yeah, you can't lollygag after that, and especially with all that remaining. We are going to take a very, very, very quick break. On the other side to talk New York Knicks, Stephen Bondy joins us. it's time to talk all things New York because the Knicks find themselves in a very, very interesting, oh, there he is, situation. Stephen Bondy joining the show now. You know where we're going first, sir. We are going to the fact that they cannot, for the love of everything, buy a win against both Cleveland and Boston. Why?
Well, I mean, listen, against Boston, the problem has been defending the three-point line. And they certainly showed themselves, acquitted themselves a lot better in that last matchup. It came down to the wire. They should have won the game in regulation. They should have fouled Jason Tatum instead of letting him hit that tying three-pointer in the fourth quarter. So at least, they're showing improvement, at least against the Celtics. They were blown out by the Cavaliers. They were blown out by OKC. I think there's a talent gap. More than anything, there's certainly a gap in the level of depth. The Knicks don't have a very good bench. Tom Thibodeau doesn't trust his bench. So I think that's all part of it. But I think that the Knicks are they're looking at that last matchup against the Celtics. They're looking at the possibility of a second-round matchup and saying, look, we can hang with those guys. I think that's their big takeaway from the other night.
Oh, okay. So that is the glass half full approach, which I appreciate, of course. But do you think, what is the vibe like? Do they feel like we are genuinely missing something, or because it doesn't look like they're going to hang with them?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Jalen Brunson, I think, in my opinion, Jalen Brunson is the clutch player of the year. So if you keep the game close, they believe that they have the guy to put them over the top. The question is whether they can keep it close. They acquired OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges to deal with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They have not been able to hold those guys down. It has not been a good matchup for the Knicks. So they need to figure out a way to, especially Tatum, figure out a way to hold him down. They did switch after the first matchup. They had Mikal Bridges on him. They switched OG Anunoby on him. That produced better results. So I think they believe they have something going there in terms of slowing down Jason Tatum. And we don't know where Jaylen is. He's been resting. If Jaylen Brown is compromised in any way, then the Knicks, that's an advantage the Knicks can lean into.
Yeah, excuse me. And we're talking about matchups, and the Knicks, they're the 3 seed right now, currently, and with everything's going. Their possible first-round matchup would be the Detroit Pistons. Is there any concern there with that matchup, or you think this is a team that feels comfortable going into the first round?
Well, I'm actually in Little Caesars Arena right now, and the plot twist is that the Knicks are suddenly resting their guys for this matchup tonight. Josh Hart isn't playing. OG Anunoby's not playing. Mitchell Robinson's not playing. If the Knicks had defeated the Pistons tonight, they will have basically secured a first-round matchup against the Pistons. If the Pistons win out, then all of a sudden the Knicks are looking at a potential matchup against the Milwaukee Bucks. So, I guess the message, if you're the Pistons, you're looking at like, oh, they don't want this smoke. They could beat us today and secure that first-round matchup against us, but they're resting their guys. So, they can say what they want, but
Detroit should rest everybody too.
No one plays.
Let's just play some chess. Everybody just rest.
What if I told you 5 months ago that the Knicks will rest to play